Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Bold and the Beautiful, Poppy ditches special mints turns tyrant. Bold and the Beautiful had Poppy Nozawa ditch her drugs, but after a few times repeating that she got rid of them, it sounds like problems are about to surface on the CBS soap. BNB viewers likely learn why Poppy took her happy mints in the first place. But they also might not like the woman who emerges clean and sober. BNB paves the way for a new storyline for Poppy Nozawa Roma Park and, it's likely one that fans never expected. She hid the fact that she took these drugs from her daughter. But when dating Bill Spencer Don Diamond she popped them like candy. She even explained to Bill that her special mints were the equivalent of him drinking cocktails. It's a way to take the edge off the world. So the free-spirited woman, who captured the heart of Bill Spencer, might disappear. Now Bold and the Beautiful fans think Poppy soon becomes someone different. Bold and the Beautiful viewers already know Poppy's sister is quite the opposite of her. Lee Finnegan Naomi Matsuda is far from a barrel of laughs. But maybe Lee and Poppy are more alike than Poppy can stand. So, those little mints might have taken care of that. It became apparent that Poppy avoided telling her daughter Luna Nozawa Lisa Yamada about her drug-taking habit. Luna was surprised to learn that her mother took drugs a few episodes back on Bold and Beautiful. She didn't find out until she ingested some, thinking they were only breath mints. So, she can add that secret to the big one where she won't tell Luna who her father is. The mother and daughter were already at odds over a dad for Luna. But if Poppy goes through a transformation once those drugs leave her system, this could get messy. While the Bold and the Beautiful fans know that Poppy Nozawa took those drugs, it was never revealed what substance she was taking. We watched as an overdose of these special mints put Luna in a happy state of mind. But they also caused her to hallucinate, which Poppy said she never experienced with her mints. With Poppy Nozawa going cold turkey off these drugs, it shouldn't be too long now before we see how this changes her. Maybe she becomes more like the sister who scares her, Lee Finnegan. That slight undercurrent of giddiness that oozed from Poppy is already gone. Of course, they are in a bit of a crisis right now after Luna slept with her boyfriend's cousin. But when the dust settles, Poppy Nozawa could emerge with a cold edge about her. And Luna might not recognize her mother. Maybe she even rubs Bill Spencer the wrong way. But, with the free-spirited Poppy telling everyone she stopped taking those drugs, Bold and the Beautiful likely has something in mind. The soap likely had a reason for the viewers to learn about Poppy's drug habit in the first place. Sure, it offered a perfect excuse for a betrayal. But now that is out in the open, it looks like BNB plans to get more mileage out of Poppy Nozawa and her drug habit. Or, in this case, her lack of drugs now that her conscience made her kick the habit on the CBS soap. Head back to Soap Dirt for the latest Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. In the heart of bustling Los Angeles, where the sun-kissed streets weave tales of glitz and glamour, there exists a world where beauty reigns supreme, and scandal lurks in every shadow. This is the world of Bold and the Beautiful, where love, betrayal, and ambition collide with breathtaking intensity. At the center of this whirlwind of drama stands Poppy Montgomery, a woman whose beauty is matched only by her ambition. With eyes as blue as the Pacific Ocean and a smile that could light up the darkest of nights, Poppy seemed destined for greatness from the moment she stepped foot in the City of Angels. But beneath her flawless exterior lies a hunger for power that knows no bounds. And it is this insatiable appetite that drives her to make a decision that will send shockwaves through the fashion world. It all begins innocently enough, with a seemingly mundane decision to ditch her favorite brand of special mints. For years, these mints have been Poppy's constant companion, providing her with the fresh breath and confidence she needs to conquer the cutthroat world of high fashion. But as she tosses the tin of mints into the trash, a spark ignites within her, fueling a fire that will soon consume everything in its path. As the days pass, Poppy's behavior becomes increasingly erratic. She snaps at her assistants, berates her colleagues, and throws tantrums worthy of a spoiled child. Gone is the sweet, charming woman the world once knew. In her place stands a tyrant, ruling her empire with an iron fist and a heart of ice. Her once loyal employees whisper behind her back, exchanging tales of her cruel demands and unreasonable expectations. But even as resentment simmers beneath the surface, none dare to challenge her authority. For to cross Poppy Montgomery is to invite disaster upon oneself. Meanwhile, across town, a young designer named Alex finds himself drawn into Poppy's orbit. With his talent for creating exquisite gowns that capture the essence of modern elegance, he quickly becomes the rising star of the fashion world. And yet, despite his success, he remains humble and kind, a stark contrast to the woman who holds his fate in her hands. As Alex navigates the treacherous waters of the fashion industry, he finds himself increasingly entangled in Poppy's web. She offers him fame and fortune beyond his wildest dreams, but at a price he may not be willing to pay. Caught between his ambition and his principles, Alex must decide whether to align himself with the tyrant who holds the keys to his future or risk everything to stand up for what he believes in. As tensions reach a boiling point, secrets are revealed, alliances are tested, and the true cost of ambition becomes clear. In a world where only the bold survive, Poppy Montgomery will stop at nothing to maintain her grip on power. But even she may soon discover that in the game of fashion, the most dangerous opponent of all is the one staring back at her in the mirror. In the glitzy world of high fashion and scandalous romance, where whispers of betrayal echo through opulent corridors and the allure of power intoxicates the hearts of the beautiful and the bold, there exists a tale that unfolds with the cunning twists of fate and the tempestuous passions of the human soul. This is the story of Poppy Davenport, the enigmatic heiress to the Davenport fortune, whose journey from innocence to tyranny captivated the hearts and minds of those who dared to tread in the shadow of her ambition. Poppy Davenport was a vision of ethereal beauty, her emerald eyes shimmering like precious gems against porcelain skin, and her mane of fiery red hair cascading like molten silk down her slender frame. Born into a world of privilege and prestige, she was accustomed to the adoration that followed her every step, yet beneath her radiant exterior lay a hunger for power that burned with an intensity matched only by the blaze of her fiery locks. It all began with a seemingly innocuous decision to ditch the special mints that had long been a staple of her daily routine. Those tiny, minty confections had been her loyal companions through countless board meetings and social engagements, their cooling embrace offering solace in moments of stress and uncertainty. But as Poppy cast aside the mint tin with a careless flick of her wrist, little did she realize the profound impact that simple act would have on her life and the lives of those around her. At first, the absence of the mints went unnoticed, lost amid the whirlwind of Poppy's glamorous existence. Yet gradually, subtle changes began to emerge: as sharpness in her tone, a coldness in her gaze, as though a veil had been lifted to reveal the true depths of her ambition. Gone was the sweet, affable heiress of yesteryear, replaced instead by a formidable force of nature, driven by a relentless desire to conquer all who stood in her path. Her transformation did not go unnoticed by those closest to her, least of all by her devoted confidant, Sebastian Blackwood. As the loyal head of her household staff, Sebastian had served the Davenport family for generations, his unwavering loyalty matched only by his keen intuition. Sensing the shifting tides within Poppy's soul, he watched with a mixture of concern and fascination as she embarked on a path fraught with danger and intrigue. Meanwhile, across the hallowed halls of the Davenport estate, whispers of discontent began to spread like wildfire among the staff. Gone were the days of benevolent leadership and gentle guidance, replaced instead by a reign of terror in which every servant lived in fear of incurring their mistress's wrath. Poppy's demands grew more outlandish with each passing day, her temper flaring at the slightest provocation as she wielded her newfound power with reckless abandon. But amidst the chaos and turmoil that engulfed the Davenport estate, there existed a glimmer of hope in the form of a young maid named Emily. With her doe-eyed innocence and gentle spirit, Emily possessed a rare resilience that had not gone unnoticed by Sebastian, who saw in her the potential to sway the tide of destiny. Determined to protect his mistress from the abyss into which she was spiraling, Sebastian enlisted Emily's help in a daring plan to confront Poppy and restore balance to the fractured household. As the fateful day dawned, tension hung thick in the air like a shroud of uncertainty as Sebastian and Emily prepared to confront the tyrant who had once been their beloved mistress. With steely resolve, they marched into Poppy's chambers, where she sat ensconced upon her throne of silk and satin, her eyes ablaze with a fire that threatened to consume all who dared to challenge her authority. For a moment, silence reigned supreme as Sebastian and Emily stood before Poppy, their resolve tested by the weight of her gaze. But then, with a voice as soft as a whisper yet imbued with a strength that belied her years, Emily spoke out against the tyranny that had gripped the household in its iron fist. "Poppy, we cannot stand idly by and watch as you succumb to the darkness that consumes your soul," she declared, her words echoing through the chamber like a clarion call to arms. "We know that beneath this veneer of power lies the heart of a woman who is capable of great kindness and compassion. Let us help you find your way back to the light before it's too late." For a moment, it seemed as though Poppy might rebuff their entreaties, her features contorted in a mask of defiance. But then, with a sigh that seemed to carry the weight of the world upon her shoulders, she relented, her steely facade crumbling to reveal the vulnerability that lay beneath. "You're right," she whispered, her voice barely more than a breath upon the wind. "I've allowed my thirst for power to cloud my judgment, to blind me to the needs of those who rely on me for guidance and support. Forgive me, Sebastian, Emily, forgive me for the pain I have caused." And with those words, a wave of relief washed over the assembled trio, their hearts lightened by the promise of redemption that shimmered on the horizon. Together, they embarked on a journey of self-discovery and renewal, their bonds strengthened by the trials they had endured and the triumphs that lay ahead. And so, in the hallowed halls of the Davenport estate, a new chapter began, one filled with hope and possibility, where the echoes of tyranny were drowned out by the sweet symphony of forgiveness and redemption. For Poppy Davenport, the road to enlightenment had been a treacherous one, but in the end, it had led her back to the place where she truly belonged in the hearts of those who loved her most.